Recently, Amber Heard and her team made a pretty strong case to try and get the verdict thrown out and have a retrial take place. They brought up the idea that one of the jurors who had appeared in court was not who they said they were. This would have been a pretty strong case for them, and if it went through with a yes, the verdict would have been seen as invalid. Definitely one of her team's better attempts to try and change the outcome of the case. Though it probably would have made a lot of people angry, they would have been well within their rights to bring this information to the court and have the situation rectified. Unfortunately though, it didn't seem to work out for Amber and her team. Let me recap the situation really quick before we get any further. The person who was supposed to be juror number 15 on the case was said by Amber's team to not be the actual person who showed up. So why is that? Well, they filed documents that said juror number 15 was written to have been born in 1945 and be around 80 years old at the time of the trial. But they said that the person who actually showed up looked a lot younger and would have been born around 1970. Looking into it, they found that there were two people who lived at the address that the jury summons was sent to, one being almost 80 and one being in their 50s, matching up with the two potentially mixed up jurors. So they alleged in their court filing that the 50-year-old son had shown up for court in place of his almost 80-year-old father and had failed to correctly identify himself. Anything to do with the government, like court and jury duty, is always a very specific and important process. So if you get summoned for jury duty and don't want to go, you need to have a pretty good reason and make sure that this is known to the courts. You can't just decide to send your son in your place without telling anybody. Having the wrong juror present means that the whole trial is no longer good and will probably be thrown out and need to be done again. So that's the angle that Amber's team played, and I'm sure they had pretty high hopes about this being a successful motion. But it wasn't. The judge made their final decision on the movement by saying that no fraud took place. That is because there was apparently no actual birth date listed on the jury summons, and the father and son share a name, with nothing distinguishing between them like a junior or second. Because of this, it was fair for them to believe that it could have been either one of them being called up to be present on the jury, and was not any purposefully fraudulent or ignorant mistake of theirs to show up. So it looks like one of their final attempts at saving their case has been unsuccessful. Bottom line is, no jury fraud took place, so they can no longer try and go down this angle to get the verdict changed. The judge also went so far as to say that Amber's team had the opportunity to bring this up much earlier in the case, but they were only doing it now because she lost and they're desperate to try and turn it around. Well, yeah, they're definitely desperate. Amber and her team also tried to claim that the $10 million in damages that Johnny Depp was awarded was overly excessive and that the amount should be smaller, if not nothing at all. The judge said no to that too though. This is because there was plenty of evidence and testimony that Depp probably lost way more than $10 million from the roles that he lost as a result of Amber Heard's allegations. So Amber and her team are really starting to run out of options here. Their only hope now seems to be trying to push their appeal case, with no guarantee that it would have any good outcome for them. This also seems like it might not be possible due to the fact that Amber's insurance company is suing her and saying that they are not going to be held financially responsible for anything in relation to the case, whether it be for the damages, attorney's fees, or an attempted appeal. Good luck, Amber. We'll be sure to let you know if we find out anything more in regards to the situation, but that's all I have for you for now. I've been your host, Woody. Join us next time for more.